Our Prophet, Allah's blessing be upon him, informed us of where the war would begin. Yes, we know it's going to begin in the north of Syria. That's what he said. But the beginning of the war is not as important as the consequences of the war. And the consequences of the war is, he said, 99 out of every 100 who fight in that war would be killed. And so it's a unique war that's coming. It's a war in which weapons of mass destruction would be used for the first time on such a scale. And we have only admiration for you, that you're not afraid of the consequences of that war. When we look at the other side, we see rent an army. We see people being brought to fight and being offered cards and being offered green cards and all these things. And they're only there in the army fighting for the monetary dividends. So that can't be an army with faith. But on your side, it's an army of faith. And that's a big difference between the two, when these two armies face each other in the Great War. Not only are we proud of the fact that there are many, many, many Muslims fighting in the Russian armed forces, yes, from Chechnya, for example. But we have something more to share with you in today's video. And that is that the Lord God Himself will be helping you in that war. This is how we start our subject today, Russia and the Great War. And we want to take you to the Quran and to explain the Quran as perhaps never explained before to you in Russia. The only knowledge that you have of Islam is Ottoman Islam. And Ottoman Islam was one that provoked such pain, suffering, disgust, bitterness, and hatred, that it has lingered and lingered and lingered for centuries. And now that we present to you a different Islam, the one that comes from the Quran, not from the barrel of an Ottoman gun. It takes your women and enslave them, and take your sons and convert them to Islam by force, to the eternal shame and disgrace of the world of Islam. Today we take 600 years of Ottoman brainwashing, and we take the book of Allah, the Quran, and we wipe it away. What does the Quran say to you? The Orthodox Christian world, led by Russia, this is what we want to share with you. There are many who will listen to this video and say, Sheikh, we heard that already. Well then, why don't you go and listen to someone else? Because I'm talking today to the Russian people who may never have ever heard this before, and they're hearing it for the first time. We know the outcome of the big war that's coming, the Great War. We know that the Lord God is going to intervene in this great war. And we want to take you to the Quran. We want to take you to what the Quran has recorded at that moment when they were attempting to crucify Jesus, the Son of Mary. And he did not know what was going to happen. But the Lord God, He knew. And He spoke to Jesus. And those words are recorded in the Quran. And I share them with you today. It is located in the third surah of the Quran called Ali Imran, the people, the house of Amran. Amran being the father of Moses and of Aaron. Ali Imran. And he speaks to Jesus and he says, "Ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim." "Oh Jesus, Ya Isa, I'm going to take your soul." And of course, when the Lord God takes the soul, he can either keep it or return it. And if he keeps it, well, they have succeeded. They have killed him. But the Lord God said, no, they did not succeed. I made it appear like that. And so therefore, he took the soul and he returned it. But they didn't know that. And then he said, I'm going to raise you unto myself. And so the son of Mary was raised unto the Lord God himself. This is the Quran. And I'm going to cleanse and purify you of all the blasphemous things they have uttered against you and your mother. And today, we live in a world in which they don't dare to stand up and speak those things about Jesus anymore, because the world will crush them today. He's been purified. Now listen. And the Quran then goes on to say that I'm going to raise those who follow you, O Jesus. Raise them high and dominant over the other group which rejected him and which hurled these blasphemous things against him, these disbelievers. And when I raise them, the followers of Jesus, to that position of dominance, they will remain there until the end of the world. And so now, the Quran is helping you in Russia to understand what happened these last 20 years.